For the first time, we get a device with Android Nougat carrying the Helio P20. What's going on, everybody? This is Jay, and this is my unboxing and hands-on of the Vernee Mars. So let's get started by saying that this device came from the website gearbest.com, and in case you guys want to check it out, I have provided the link below. This is once again the Vernee Mars. It's a very nice complete device that comes with 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage. It has a full HD display, 5.5 inches. It comes with the Helio P20 and much more. Of course, I'll be going through the whole entire specifications as I go along with the unboxing and the hands-on of the phone. So getting a look at the box, this time we have a very unusual color. It is white, which is the Vernee Mars logo all over the box. And on the back side here we have some of the specifications of this device, even though they're not very clear on here. We have some IMEI information and barcode. This is for inventory tracking purposes. So let's go ahead and take a look here inside of the box. I did get the gray color version. It comes also in gold. And yes, I did turn it on already. I checked it out and I was quite impressed, but of course there are some flaws like every Chinese phone, or actually every flagship device out there in the world. They all have a flaw, and this one has quite a few, which I'm going to be mentioning as again I go along with the hands-on of the device. So here we have the phone itself. It comes wrapped in this little paper or bag. We have the QR code in case you guys want to download the manuals directly into your smartphone. We have a little divider here to keep things separated, and the divider is pretty decent quality here. We have the actual manuals in case you don't want to download them. You have them here. They are pretty much useless, just explaining how to install the SIM card, how to maintain the phone, what to do and not to do. Okay, so we have the USB Type-C cable here. We got the fast charger. Let me show you here the specifications. They are right there. It is made by Vernee. Right underneath that line we can see that it is claiming to be a fast charger. It is a 5 volt 2 amps, and it does charge the phone within 1 hour. At least from my experience, I didn't need the adapter for the United States because unfortunately we are getting the European one, so it doesn't work for me. And that's pretty much it. But I do have to mention also that it is quite big. So this is my palm, and you guys can notice that it's about 2 inches wide. It's about 1 inches thick, so it is not a small charger. Inside of the box we have a SIM ejector tool, and that's pretty much all we find in here. So let's go ahead and jump to the Vernee Mars. Okay, so here we have the phone on my hands right now, and this is a very nice design in my opinion. I do like it quite a bunch. And to finish some of the specifications, this one comes with the Mali-T860 for the GPU. On the front here we have a 5.5 inch display. It has the Corning Gorilla Glass number 3. It is a 2.5D R screen and also has a resolution of 1920 by 1080. I'm still waiting for a budget device to have a 2K resolution screen, and I think that right now there's one in the making, but I'm going to try to keep it as a surprise. On the top you have a 5 megapixel sensor camera with the ear speaker and the proximity and light sensor. Towards the bottom we have nothing. All the soft touch keys are going to be on the operating system. On the left hand side we have a SIM tray. This is going to support 2 SIM cards at the same time, or a SIM card and a TF card up to 128 gigabytes. Towards the bottom you have the USB Type-C. You have the loudspeaker together with the microphone. On top is the 3.5mm headphone jack. On the back side we have a 13 megapixel sensor. I believe it's the Sony 258 sensor. It has the ability to actually shoot very nice videos. I'll be showing you that, guys, later on as we go along. We have the dual tone LED flash. Inside we have a 3000 built-in battery, which unfortunately we can't see it. On the bottom we got the branding here, which is the Vernee logo with the model Mars. Then on the right hand side is where everything becomes very interesting. This device supports a fingerprint scanner, and this is going to be it. This is my first Chinese phone that has a fingerprint scanner on the right hand side. We have the power key and also the volume rockers up and down. And that's pretty much all we get here from the body. Oh, I forgot to mention that this phone has a thickness of only 7.6 millimeters. Very thin, with a little protruded camera on the back. And this one in particular, for some reason, sometimes the screen tends to flicker a little bit. Now I have to admit that this device was dropped by me twice, even though nothing really happened, but here we can see the distortion, and the only way I can fix it is by sometimes tapping it on the bottom side. We can see that it gets fixed. Now I'm pretty sure that this is not a defect from the manufacturer. As I said before, I dropped this device twice, and after doing so the screen starts failing. So just be careful. If you guys drop this device, it can easily be damaged, at least from my experience. So here we have the lock screen. It's very common. Okay, remember that this is a new operating system, because if I forgot to mention, this device is carrying the Android Nougat 7.0. Okay, so now let's go ahead and unlock the device to take a closer look inside of the operating system, and this is everything we get. It looks very similar to the Android Marshmallow 6.0, to be honest. After the update, I didn't see many differences on here, with the exception that the battery is lasting way longer, and that some of the applications have changed a little bit, including here the notification settings and all that good stuff. By the way, these are all the toggles that we're going to get supported on here. Right now I am connected to the Wi-Fi. It comes with a flashlight on the back side, which is quite bright. It's actually one of the brightest flashlights that I've seen on a Chinese device for a very long time. And by Chinese phone, I'm referring to the brands like L phone, Ulefone, now with this case it's going to be the Vernee. These are brand devices that don't have a big name out there like Xiaomi, Meizu, so we really can't compare it to other flagship devices, but when it comes to mid-range phones, this device is quite impressive. Let's go ahead and take a look here on the settings. So here we find the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, SIM card options. This is all very common, as we know already. We do have sounds here. Sounds, we got a couple ringtones. By the way, I want to play one so that we can check the quality of the speaker. We'll just increase the volume for now to the max. There we go. Let's check the phone's ringtones. It sounds a little bit scratchy, depending on the song that you're playing. But for the most part, it will do its job. Okay, so there we have it for sounds. Getting back here, we have storage. Now this right here is for the internal storage. It comes with 32 gigabytes, as I said earlier, and you can also install a TF card on the same tray. We have the battery. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of usage for the battery right now because I just charged this device before completing this video. The next one we got here is memory. This is for the RAM. We have 2.5 gigabytes of RAM available out of the 4. Getting here, we have users. You can have a guest user on this device. We have security. Now on security, we're going to find all the settings here for the fingerprint. Let's go ahead and try it out to see if this thing is worth it. So let's click here, continue. Let's do a pin. Now something I noticed with this update from the Android Marshmallow 6.0 is that now the fingerprint works, but you had to, still input the password afterwards. So I find it to be a little bit of an inconvenience, and there was no way I could change it. So right now I'm just setting here a random password. Okay, let's click done, and now we're going to test it here with my thumb. Right, there we go. Now I have to admit, guys, that this sensor is not the best, even though a lot of reviews out there are claiming it to be very sensitive. I don't know if this was caused after dropping the device several times, but I highly doubt it. It was like this ever since I got it. So right now set up one fingerprint, as you guys can tell. So if you lock the device, all we have to do, just input the fingerprint and the phone will unlock. Now in this case, again, with this update, you have to input your PIN, which is a little bit of an inconvenience. I don't see the point of having a fingerprint if it's going to require a PIN, something very silly. But anyways, at least we know that the fingerprint scanner is working. We have here the Google accounts, the language and input. So far this one is supporting right now one language actually, but it's giving us the option to change it. Of course we can add other ones on here, I'm assuming. I haven't tried that option yet. We have, let's see what else we got here. We have the in time, accessibility, navigation bars. You can change them. So this is something quite cool, because as we know on the Galaxies, the back key is on the right hand side, so I got used to that pattern, so I'm going to change it to that. There we go. Now we got here the about device. There's the Android Nougat, and as you guys can tell, it is legit. Now I did download this application called the Antutu Benchmark Test, and it is working perfectly well, at least on the specification side. This is the score that I got, 45,078. So if you go here into info, we're going to find all the details about the phone. Okay, we got the Mali-T860, the resolution of the screen. If you continue to go down, you're going to see here the software. The Android SDK version is number 24. Now we know that sometimes with the Antutu benchmark test, this can be faked a little bit. So for that, I downloaded another one, which is CPU X. Okay, these are, I would say, a little bit more reliable ways of finding out. And there we go, the Helio P10, same as the MTK6755. We have here the brand once again with the Android operating system right there, the Nougat API level 24. Once again confirming that this is the true Android Nougat. Now, when I first got the device, I got it with the Android Marshmallow 6.0. Afterwards, I had an update that took up almost 1 GB of space, and it was telling me that if I wanted the ringtones to work properly and something about the notifications, I needed to reset the device. So I deleted all my photos, but before I did, just so that I could show you guys the quality of the camera, I put them on my computer, so I was able to save them. So talking about the camera, let's go ahead and open this app right here. I did take some footage at the park, and I have to say that for a Chinese device and comparing it to other Chinese devices that I've had before, the camera is quite impressive. Now, like always, I have two major disappointments. Well, I can say three. One of them is the software. The software is super old. This thing has been used ever since Android. I think it was 4 or Android 5. I can't recall right now, but this software is really old for a camera. Second, we don't have optical image stabilization. And third, we don't have 4K recording. So the camera does great when it comes to performance, thanks to that Sony sensor, but it's still lacking a lot of the features that other flagship devices, are having right now. And they're becoming quite common. So I would say that on the camera side, this thing is a little bit behind. So checking here, the front-facing camera is also pretty good. It's a 5 megapixel sensor that has the ability to record in 1080p. Okay, and I believe this one is at 30 frames per second if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's going to do its purpose, but I never recommend to record with a front-facing camera at 1080p if it's something important. The quality is not going to be the same as a rear camera. So other applications here, like the Play Store that comes from Google, is working perfectly well. Now the reason I'm mentioning this is because I have seen Chinese devices that are between this price range that don't have a working Play Store, and those are the kind of videos that I avoid because that's a big problem. A lot of people out there don't know how to fix a Play Store, and if you buy the device, at first it works, you can download a couple applications, and after sometimes a week or less, the Play Store just stops working, you get an error message, and it is really difficult to fix. So for the average user, that's going to be a big problem. Now with this device, you're not going to have that issue. Remember, it's getting a lot of support from this company. So another thing here is the GPS. The GPS is locking a signal quite fast as well. Even though I'm inside of this room right now, we have 21 satellites in view. Now in this room, sometimes I do have issues getting a connection for the GPS, but take my word for it, if you're outside, you have a clear view of the sky, this thing is going to do its job quite well. All the social media like Facebook, Instagram, Skype, and all that good stuff that we like to use, they all work flawlessly on this device. So far, I don't have any major complaints when it comes to the performance of the phone. I think it's quite worth it. As I said before, the only flaw with this device so far is the fact that the screen kind of got damaged after only 2 drops, and they were small drops. Actually, one of them was from my hand to a counter, and the second one, it bounced on the rug of the house. That's why we didn't see any cracks or any damages here on the body. And that's because it wasn't a major fault. And after that, you guys can notice that, or at least in the beginning of the video, we had some lines on the bottom. Now the way I fix it is by just tapping the back, and the problem was solved. And sometimes it comes back after a couple days, and sometimes it doesn't come back at all. Another great feature or another great aspect about this device is the Wi-Fi. Right now I'm getting all the reception. It's actually quite fast. It does work flawlessly. So if we go here to the browser, let's say we select something like eBay. It does work quite fast. So here we have eBay. Let's try another one. Let's try GearBest itself. These are websites that require, I would say, somewhat of a heavy internet. So let's go GearBest. Let's see if it's going to take me here. It's probably going to take me to Google or something. There we go, GearBest official site. And now here we have it. So with the Wi-Fi, it's loading quite decently, I would say. Now, a second little flaw that I noticed about this device is that right now it is not accepting my SIM card. Now, keep in mind that when I dropped it twice, it didn't have my SIM card yet inside. Now, after I decided to insert it, it didn't work. I mean, it's been red. I can see my phone number and everything on settings, but now when I try to complete a phone call, I don't have a signal reception and it says signal too low. So I think that it's either two things. This device came damaged already from factory, or I damaged it myself after dropping it 2 times. So yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment because this device has pretty nice features and pretty nice performance for me not being able to complete a phone call on it. So I think, guys, that this has completed my little unboxing and hands-on on the Vernee Mars. And again, if you guys do have any questions, you know exactly what to do. Just leave your comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you think it was helpful. Subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next one.